Dear learners, welcome to the course Organizational Design and Development. I am Dr. Vijayanand, School of Management Shastra. Let us all move on to detailed discussion about the course. The organizational design and development got different components or factors, right from strategic intent to performance measurement. It is applicable to not only a specific departments but also for the entire organization as well. Strategic intent, guiding principles, capability maps, roadmap or blueprint, work design, workforce plan, and performance standard which we are going to set. And these are all the learning module or unit of your entire course. There are 5 different modules available. Introduction to organizational design, organizational development, interventions, HRM intervention particularly, and change management area. The first module talks about fundamental concepts pertaining to design, features and principles of design, and what are the emerging trends happening OD, and what do you mean by organizational effectiveness, different role, framework, and model. And what is the significant difference between intra-organizational relationship and inter-organizational relationship? And some of the components called OD features, that is called development features, theories of OD, planned change, important model called Levin's change model, action research model, positive model, and comparison between different models, and roles and competencies of change agent, and what are all the ethics to be followed by OD consultants. And OD intervention, which includes selecting an OD intervention, how to choose OD specialist, and different types of OD intervention, particularly process consultation, team building, confrontation meeting, intergroup relations intervention, technostructure, re-engineering, employee involvement, so on. And HRM intervention, particularly what it talks. It talks about performance management, goal setting process, reward system, appraisal management, coaching and mentoring, and different development components. It also portrays about management and leadership development, workforce diversity interventions. And the last module talks about, it's a very interesting one, change management. Why employees are resisting, why they are not accepting changes in an organization. As an organization, they have got their own prediction, what we supposed to do in future, how we need to overcome the challenges, for which they would like to launch so many intervention or changes in an organization. So just like that, they don't want to accept the changes. What kind of hindering factors available? Why they are all resisting? What kind of challenges may be faced by an organization? How to overcome the resistance to change? What kind of strategic intervention will be there, or some strategies are there? So these things are the pervasive view of the module talks about the course organizational design and development. Friends, why organizational design is very important in a corporate? Because if you are not having design, we are completely handicapped to do the operation. You know pretty well how to set the goal, how to achieve the goal. Between those things, we have got sequence of process, system, communication, technology, people, everything. So these things, we need to look at the careful mix. So we need to align and reorder everything, put it as a prompt manner called the design. It is otherwise known as structure. There are number of roles available, there are number of tasks available. In that context, how we need to map everything. So we need to define organizational role, responsibilities, and kind of goals what we are fixed. What is the ultimate or primary objective of organizational design, friends? Again, I'm telling you, align the people, process, technology with the organization topmost strategy. See, it will be land up in the achieving efficiency, adaptability, and performance kind of key indicators. See, it is a sequence of arrangements of structures and kind of workflows and reporting relationship with an organization, friends. Well, there are number of organizations. There are different types of organization. That is called small scale, large scale, and medium scale. According to scale, according to nature, we can classify so many organization, friends. How the design determines the task will be correlated and divided, coordinated, and monitored by different people with a set of objectives. See, it is called roadmap or blueprint. What to do, what not to do. Correct? See, there are certain objectives behind the organization design component. See, number one, we need to look at the strategic alignment. So, what is the mission we have? What is the vision we have? What kind of long term goal and short term goal we have? See, accordingly, we need to work with the people, technology, and the system. That is known as the strategic alignment. Within short span of time, what we are supposed to do, and long term perspective, what we are going to do. So we should not mix, called the strategic alignment. See, followed by that, efficiency, productivity also one of the non-compromised one. See, we need to streamline the process to reduce the repetition of work or even duplication of work, and how we need to improve the resource utilization, friends. Well how we need to mobilize the resources. Utilizing resources, utilizing the mobilized resources are very important. Men, machinery, material, money, management, market are the important resources of the organization, right? We need to acquire organization, or we need to take over organization, or we need to merge organization, or in simple, we have to do the kind of business operation for which efficiency, efficacy are very important, friends. See, followed by that, few more objectives are here. Flexibility and adaptability, clear role and accountability should be needed. So to whom we need to approach, how people are getting extracted with respect to different tasks, and how we need to expertise in the sequence of task in an organization, friends. See, we can say everybody not having the same expertise. The expertise may differ from a person to another person. So we need to so careful about the expertise. So we need to map the concerned task with the concerned people. That is known as the clear roles and accountability. Suppose if you are not able to find the clear role and accountability, and finally we may have chances to land up a problem or stuck with respect to target setting and all. And the very interesting phenomena is employee engagement and well-being. See, employee engagement and well-being is here kind of ocean. See how we need to connect people, how we need to extract the work from employees. There are a number of employees in an organization, friends. Top level, middle level, and the supervisor level. See, each and every department we need to run with the organization's people. Without a manpower, without human being, without employee, nothing happen in an organization. You understand, friends, right? How we need to carefully map the employees and available jobs in an organization, friends. Example, you have got expertise in marketing, somebody got expertise in HR. So we should not cross map with the people under task. So we need to collaborate the people system communication process. So accordingly, we need to monitor the performance of individual. Definitely, that will create wonderful motivation and job satisfaction each and every level. You have a question, sir, whether we need to motivate entry level, middle level, top level. I'm saying every employee should get motivated off late, either self motivation or the motivation given by the team leader or peer level motivation, friends. Accordingly, we need to design the entire organization in such a way, friends. And finally, we need to land up the innovation growth. What do you call innovation? We need to do some creative things in a novel way known as innovation with respect to product and services. We need to show and showcase the periodical progress and performance at par with our own competitors. One fine morning, we need to be chase the competition. See, in the competitive business era, and how we need to sustain ourselves in a market. So this is all a big question mark. Now, though, the entire world, globe is shaped by artificial intelligence. See, wherever the opportunity permits, we need to make use of technology and artificial intelligence model. So accordingly, we need to design. See, very long back, I think 2 decades before, we were all talking about the office automation, mechanization, etc. And now we need to talk about the concept called artificial intelligence or artificial intelligence integrated model work. So wherever applicable, we need to align the artificial intelligence in the design component. See, in nutshell, what I'm going to share about the artificial design part, it is about creating the right structure to make strategy work in a practice. In a workplace, what we should do without fail. That is known as the design. That is called the roadmap. Unless a roadmap, definitely we may not able to travel towards a prompt direction. A well-designed organization definitely ensures clarity, efficiency, and adaptability. Even a poor design can hold back even the best strategies, friend. Okay, now we are going to discuss about facets of organizational design. Well, how the design articulated in an organization, how it is being worked with people and system, right? In precise, OD define how work is divided and coordinated. In an organization, there are different departments available. Each and every department, there are different people vested with more power and responsibilities and accountabilities. How we are mapping with them, and it creates kind of mix of links strategy with their own structure. As we discussed earlier, to whom we may connect, what kind of responsibilities we supposed to do, and along with that, it should provide kind of clarity in the types of relationship, maybe a top level, middle level, supervisory, or in the form of designation called regional general manager, or kind of relationship manager, or superior subordinate relationship, etc. It also facilitates organization remain competitive in the dynamic environments. Why? People always looking for very smartness, right? How we need to provide solution even for the unsolved problems. These things are expected by all the employers. So, how we need to fulfill the requirement of an individual, and definitely the organization design as a whole, enhancing, shaping the culture and influencing positively about the employee behavior. If a design is not perfect, we are not expecting the behavior in the right direction. See, each and every organization looking for goal setting. After goal setting process will be getting over, how we need to achieve, for which we need a concrete path. That is called the map should be needed, for which organized design definitely will be helping for each and every organization, friends. Have a glance, there are certain example, Google, military organization, some kind of startups, how they are all adopting the flexible structure or their own customized organizational structure for a customization process. How the organization structure encourages people to come out with the best solution or good product and services, right? Even we can call it as kind of changes, right, in the product and services by difference. How we need to proceed the hierarchical order with respect to people and system, right? So these and all the facets of organizational design. There are some broad objectives also floated here. See, organizational design definitely align with the structure as well with the strategic goal. The goal may be short term or medium term or long term. Anyway, all the goals are aligned with the mission vision statement of an organization, friends. So each and every organization got different set of vision mission. No second thought, friends. See, it also improvising decision making capacity and the efficiency of individual group as well. See, in an organization, people need of taking much decision for the productivity, right? See, when we are talking about productivity, no, we need to push more at par with the competitive environment. What others are doing, what we supposed to do. These and all two eyes. Don't forget. And organizational design definitely encouraging innovation, creativity, as we discussed earlier. It also reduces the duplication of efforts in an organization. If you are no having, that is called, if you are not having the prompt organizational design, definitely duplication will be there. We should avoid, right? And strengthen accountability and performance measurement. What do you call performance measurement? Performance of an individual or performance of an organization as a whole. Take any industry or any nature of organization. So they have got their own structured process and design. Within that, they are all doing a lot of works. So after completing the task, they are all sit together and evaluating the performance of individual, team, group or organization as a whole. So the design will be helping a lot. So organized design of a particular company definitely facilitate further growth and scalability. What you call scalability? Because you know how we need to elevate ourselves. Example, Amazon design, how they are all supporting rapid decision making capacity of an individual. And through that, you know, how they are all decision making capacity will be efficiently developed. And some of the hospitals, you know, they are having their own design called departmentation, cardiology, neurology, or nephrology, or opto, or ENT, etc. That is called purely, we call it as specialization. Again, it articulates about innovation, creativity, no second thought. And it also accept three M's. What do you call three M's design? The 3M design allows employees to spend time on personal projects, followed by the broad objectives of organization development. I'm going to discuss about certain components, certain points as nature and characteristics of organization development, friends. See, there are a number of features available. Alignment with the strategy, clarity of roles and responsibilities, effective coordination and integration, flexibility and adaptability, centralization versus decentralization, and efficiency and resource optimization. These are all the list of organizational development features. You can ask a question. There are only these things are available as nature, sir. There are so many features available. Order of the day, these are all the predominant one for each and every organization, friends. See, organization alignment. The design must always support the long-term vision and the competitive strategy of the organization, friends. It should ensure that structure and goals move in the same direction. So the direction should be finalized by our own organization apex level authorities, right? Along that, we need to work for the concerned direction. And followed by that, there is A clarity of roles and responsibilities is another important nature. A well designed organization clearly defines who does what, reducing confusion, duplication of work, and improving accountability. Because if you are not fixing these and all, we may not be able to achieve the goal within time span or short span of time. So, alignment to strategy and the clarity of roles and responsibilities both are running parallelly, followed by that effective coordination and integration. These things you have seen in fundamentals of management. See, every organizational design should ensure the effective organization and integration, friends. There are different departments and branches available in an organization, even teams also. They should must work in harmony with the proper communication channels and collaborative mechanism in place. Otherwise, the communication should not be reachable in the minds of the middle or supervisory level of employees group. And another one, flexibility and adaptability. See, the flexibility and adaptability in today's dynamic environment, all the organization must be capable of quickly responding to the change. How they are all gelling with the environment with respect to changes, whether technological or economic or competitive. Probably you came to know something called step analysis or pest analysis. What you call step or pest analysis? That is called socio-economic profile and factors and political and technological environment. These are all the important facets under the category called characteristics of the organizational design. And it also involves an appropriate balance between centralization and decentralization. What do you call decentralization, centralization, friends? So what do you call centralization? There are few hands are having the power. There are multiple hands are having the power, known as the centralization, decentralization. See, according to the situation, whether we need to make use of centralization or decentralization, friends. See, while some decisions are made at the top of consistency, others are delegated to lower levels for faster response and empowerment, right? As I told you, what kind of style we need to follow, either centralization or decentralization. I'm not telling that centralization is always superior, decentralization is not a superior one. So we need to play with a mix of centralization and decentralization, friends. See, finally, organizational design promotes efficiency and resource optimization. It ensures optimal use of human, financial, and technological resources to achieve maximum productivity with minimum waste, right? So what do you mean by resources, friends? Men, machinery, material, money, management, market, method. So what are the resources very important? Which resource is very important? I cannot say men is the superior than the machinery. Machinery is superior than the material. I can't say. See, all the resources are very important for an organization depending upon the nature and scale. So these are all the features of organizational design. Again, I'm telling you one by one. Alignment with the strategy, clarity of roles and responsibilities, effective coordination and integration, flexibility and adaptability, balance between centralization and decentralization, efficiency and resource optimization, friends. The next one is principles of organization development. What you call principles? Oh, you remember, there are 14 principles coined by Henry Fayol in management. Division of labor to Esprit de Corps. Again, I'm telling division of labor to Esprit de Corps. Esprit de Corps is otherwise known as team spirit. The principles of organizational design provides a foundation for creating an effective and efficient structure. See, one of the key principles is authority and responsibility balance, which means that the authority given to an employee must match the responsibility assigned to them. See, without the balance of authority and responsibilities, definitely performance and accountability can be affected, right? Please understand there should be a authority and responsibility balance for each and every organization with respect to different departments. See, another important principle is scalar chain, which refers to the clear line of authority. That is called flow of communication with an organization, either down to top or top to down or vertical or horizontal, whatever you like or whatever you can say. See, it ensures that information flows systematically, periodically, without any disturbance. from top to bottom, avoiding confusions and miscommunication. Because unless the prompt communication, people take it wrong sense and take it, I think, wrong direction sometimes. So what I wanted to say, what we need to extract the verb from our own subordinates. So accordingly, we need to communicate to each and every line of employees, either top level, middle level, supervisory. No need to explain about all those things, right? It may be order, it may be command, it may be circular. So communication should be a flow, prompt to flow. And another principle, delegation. What do you call delegation? It focuses on the empowering employees by sharing responsibilities. We need to allow the set of tasks and responsibilities to concerned personalities according to their own interest. See, by delegating tasks, managers can improve efficiency while also developing employee skills and confidence. If I could find some confidence, some skill on a particular person, I can mold, I can enhance, I can facilitate them in a lot. So we need to boost up the employees according to their own skill setup, friends. This is called the delegation. And what you call simplicity, it is also one of the important principles under the OD. It is also essential in organizational design, you should not forget. A simple structure avoids unnecessary complexity, making it easier for employees to understand roles, responsibilities, and workflows. See, unless otherwise, people won't do the job, won't take responsibility with that much of confidence. So, always we need to ensure that the simplicity with respect to design process wherever possible. And the another principle is known as stability, that is called emphasizes maintaining consistency in the organization, right? While still allowing flexibility to adopt the changes. This balance always helps the organizations remain steady while responding to dynamic environment, friends. So again, I'm telling the principle of stability empathizes maintaining consistency in the organization. Don't forget. And final principle, efficiency. The efficiency is a core principle which aims at minimizing cost and maximizing productivity. A well designed organization ensures optimum use of resources to achieve desired outcomes. So, like objectives, like kind of design components and features of organizational design, principles also lifting a lot to the each and every organization irrespective of nature and scale. There are certain components also positively influencing organizational design in a productive manner. See, the design is considered the backbone of efficient management. What I am saying, backbone of effective management is one of the important components which is affecting the organizational design. It provides a structure through which all activities, roles, and responsibilities are coordinated within an organization, friends. It ensures smooth workflow and coordination as well by clearly defining processes and the relationship between different departments, enabling efficient functioning without confusions or further delay. See, always I am telling we should avoid duplication, we should avoid repetition in the workflow. See, OD always directly impacts employee morale and productivity. Don't forget, friends. When roles are clear and systems are well structured, employees feel more confident, motivated, and engaged in their work. See, whatever the task or set of employees in an organization, friends. So definitely, design also directly impacts employee morale and productivity. Accordingly, we need to design the entire organization structure. Further, it adds the design determines adaptability in global and competitive markets. A flexible and responsible design allows organization to quickly adjust to market changes, technological advancement. We call it as tech savvy. Now the entire world are shaped by AI, artificial intelligence, and the competitive pressures by the kind of industry or the entire environment, friends. Accordingly, we need to work, we need to run, we need to walk. See, it also acts a tool for strategic execution, friends. See, translating organizational strategy into actionable structures and processes that helps achieve long-term goals. Just like that, we should not decide long-term goals, friends. So we need to fix the short-term goals. Step by step, we need to escalate or elevate into long-term goals. Even we call it as vision and mission. And finally, a well-designed organization fosters innovation and long-term sustainability by encouraging collaboration, supporting new ideas, and ensuring efficient use of resources over time. Right? So these are all called the salient components which are positively influencing each and every organization without fail, friends. Now let us see what are all the key takeaways from this particular session of OD introduction. OD is a non-stop process. It is a consecutive process. It is not static, right? It evolves with the business world needs. In today's dynamic environment, competitive business era, companies, organization must regularly adopt their structures to remain competitive. Say, for example, many IT companies shifted to hybrid model and remote structure after the pandemic, effect of COVID, resigning workflows, redesigning workflows, right? Revamping workflows to support virtual collaboration, right? A key takeaway is that strong design leads to strong performance. What is actually organization with a clear structure, defined roles, and efficient processes consistently outperform those with ambiguity. Say, for example, companies like Amazon use highly structured operational system to ensure speed, accuracy, and customer satisfaction. So these things, definitely will yield more number of stakeholders, more number of clients and customers at par with the competitions prevailing in the market. See, organizational design also balance structure, people, and process. Again, I'm telling structure, people, and processes. It is not only about hierarchy but also about aligning employees' capabilities with efficient workflows. A good example is how Google encourages flexible team structures while maintaining strong processes for innovation and project execution. Definitely, this credit goes to CEO of Google, Mr. Sundar Pichai, and their own team. Further, it is essential for achieving both short-term efficiency and long-term growth, friends. Dear learners, in the short term, it improves coordination and productivity, while in the long term, it supports scalability and the expansion, friends. Say, for example, many startups came, right? Often redesign their structure as they grow into large enterprises to handle increased complexity. Otherwise, we cannot survive in the market. See, another important component that is called the main aspect is that the consecutive redesign ensures relevance in a changing environment. See, organizations that fail to adopt often struggle to survive. A classic example or instance is Nokia, where it is now 2 decades before, yeah, even a decade before. Nokia was one of the familiar brands at par with Samsung, at par with OnePlus, even at par with iPhone, which faced challenges due to its inability to quickly redesign its structure and strategy in response to smartphone competition. Correct? See, hence, we can conclude that organizational design is extremely important for every organization. It acts as a foundation for performance, innovation, and sustainability, ensuring that the organization remains effective and competitive in the long term, friends.